how does down payment assistance work?
The problem is that down payment assistance often gets oversold by just, hey, you can get into this house with little to no money out of your pocket. That's great, but there's no such thing as free money.
Hi guys, it's Elizabeth with Evolve Real Estate, and I have here Daniel with SurePath Mortgage.
Yes.
That we're going to be doing a couple of questions because I know we always have lots of questions as first-time home buyers that, come to me and they're like, hey, what about this or that? So I have the professional here to answer those questions for us.
Yes. We're going to give it a little whirl here.
Yes.
See if we can get some education going.
Yes. So Daniel, one of the top questions that I have is, how does down payment assistance work?
All right, that's a good one. Down payment assistance is really just for the home buyer that does not have any money whatsoever. So the problem is that down payment assistance often gets oversold by just, hey, you can get into this house with little to no money out of your pocket. That's great, but there's no such thing as free money. So it always comes at a cost, and it may not be the most beneficial program for that consumer. So it's really about having a conversation. How much money do you have access to? How much is your credit score? What's your payment? And your interest on a down payment assistance loan is going to be a little bit higher than fair market value or fair market interest rates. So that also comes into the equation when it comes to affordability.
Okay. So basically, if you do need down payment assistance, your payment can go up a little bit higher just depending on which assistance. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And there's a couple of different variations of down payment assistance. You've got 3%, you got 4%, 5% in some cases, all depending upon the customer's needs. And each one, you've got, some are grants, some are a repayment where there's a second mortgage, some are a silent second mortgage that gets forgivable over a period of time. And each one has its pluses and minuses. So, that's really about having the conversation with the consumer, what best fits their needs at that point in time.
Okay, that's good to know. I know sometimes people ask me and I'm like, let me send you to the professional because I know that there's different programs and all that, and I don't want to give them the wrong information. But credit scores, what do you suggest these buyers' credit scores be at?
Well, so that's a great question. Down payment assistance, they do have fixed amounts based on the type of program that it is. Mm-hmm. So some are 640, some are 620. But for example, you've also got FHA that goes far below that. You've got 580 and below, depending upon down payment. So it's one of those things where, again, the conversation really drives the need versus what's going to be the program that effectively fits that.
Okay. Another question that I get a lot is, what would my monthly mortgage be? And I know it's hard to say, but I know that we've talked about if they do use down payment assistance, what would you say to somebody that has that question? Yes.
All right. So it's kind of a loaded question because every property is going to be a little bit different as far as the expenses that are involved with it. So if you have $200,000 to $300,000 properties, the taxes and insurance, and there may be an HOA or something of that nature, all of those are drivers to your payment, as well as down payment assistance. So if you're going with a down payment assistance program versus a traditional FHA where you're putting 3.5% down, the interest rate's going to be significantly less. Thus, you're going to have the ability to afford a little bit more if that's one of the drivers.
Okay. So, yeah, that's good.
I hate to dance around that question, but it's there's not a 1% or a 2%. It's not a fixed answer like that. So it's really about having the conversation. And then as with my clients and things like that, I like to kind of leave it open-ended and say, all right, well, here's kind of a ballpark of where we're going to be if you're looking at this price point. But as you start looking around at properties, shoot me over the address. We can pull the tax records and find out what the taxes are for that specific property. HOA, and so on and so forth.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's good to know because I know a lot of people I want to stay in this mortgage and, I can't go higher than this, which it's perfect because I like that. Then if we have that number, we know where we can look. Yes. And, if down payment assistance is something that will help them and, because sometimes people want to bring less to the closing table and don't mind their payment to be higher or, vice versa. So that's a good question. I'm glad you answered that.
Yeah. And that's really about, because you can't always have both. Everybody always wants the lowest payment and they want the least amount of money out of their pocket. That's great. But sometimes it's trying to find the happy medium of what's available. So a lot of times, the initial conversation that I have and I lead off with is what's your comfort level with a payment? Okay. And then start from there.
Okay, good. So anytime I have that question, I'm going to send them over to you.
There we go.
Because we do need to cover all our bases and see what they can afford and where they're comfortable at.
Yes. Because nobody wants to get into the application and under contract and all that, and all of a sudden they get a payment surprise.
Right. Okay, and you as a lender, I know that you deal with a lot of people that call and they're like, "Hey, I'm ready to buy a house," and they're like, Credit Karma says my credit score is this.
That's a big one.
It is a big one. And I want you to address it because I don't want to make anybody think, okay, we're ready because Credit Karma said. But what is it that you're looking at when you're looking at credit scores?
So we pull a mortgage credit report, which is a tri-merge. And initially, depending upon the borrower's interest in moving forward, sometimes we'll do a soft pull. If they're eager and out there, then we'll go ahead and do a hard pull. But the mortgage credit report is significantly different than a consumer credit report. And there's dozens and dozens of consumer credit reports that are out there. And they can put you in a ballpark, but we don't know always what scale they're working off of. So some, the high scale goes up to 900. It's just a myriad of things. And it was done in my opinion, it was done on purpose to, we pay for credit reports. So, right. They can't take away that business. If there's a free credit report that I could use in my transaction, then I would, there'd be a lot of business lost for the credit companies. So.
Right. Okay. So, anybody that has questions over the first time home buying process, because there is guidelines for down payment assistance, right? So I know I've heard so let us know what it is that you can't own a home.
Yes. So some of them have limitations on, and again, this is about, which program is going to be right for you. So some are a little bit more flexible. Some have income limitations. Some have geographic limitations. Some are grants that you have to apply for well in advance. And then others, you have to be a genuine first-time home buyer. Now, first-time home buyer doesn't mean that you have never owned a home. In the industry, it is 3 years.
Okay.
So.
Okay. That's good to know.
Easy enough.
Yes. Okay, guys. So there you have it. Daniel from Evolve Path Mortgage has answered most of our down payment assistance questions. So if you have any other questions and want to get deeper into the process, definitely let us know. Our numbers and information will be here on the screen, and hopefully Daniel can help you with your loan needs.
Absolutely. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.